Do you know what the most important mechanic is in Valorant? Is it movement? Perhaps it's game sense? Maybe even rotations? The most important mechanic is undeniably aim. Aim is the most fundamental mechanic in the whole game. And the reason for that is because it's in every single scenario. Whether you're playing pistol round, whether you're flanking, whether you're on retake. So most people understand this, and the whole question then becomes, how do you get godlike aim? I'm going to show you exactly how to improve your raw aim and your in-game aim. But I'm also going to show you a completely new broken aim routine that I think is absolutely amazing. To start off, I would like to show you a drill here in the practice range. I want you to see if you understand why this is an important drill. I start eliminate 50 here. So this is the drill, tracking a bot here. So there are a couple of reasons why this is a really important mechanic. First off, this bot is only moving left and right. If I want to be able to track the bot, I need to have really good mouse control. But not just that, I also need to have really good wrist aim, because the bot is only moving left and right. It's not moving up and down. And this is essentially how most fights in Valorant go. And so if your wrist control is not there, then you will lack quite a lot of skill, and that means your aim is lacking quite a lot. But how do you actually fix it? There is raw aim and there is in-game aim. So in-game aim would be crosshair placement, pre-aiming, your coordination with your movement, and raw aim is just your raw aim, things that you practice in deathmatches, in practice range, or in aim trainers. And the most efficient way to get better raw aim is always going to be aim trainers. So if you don't know who Viscos is, it's a aim trainer player, one of the best in the world, and she made this new benchmark. So this is a really powerful tool that I really encourage you to use, and it's also divided up into even more categories. So fingertip, wrist, arm, blending, control, post flick, reading. I've used it for a couple of days, maybe even a week or so, and I feel like I've seen some pretty instant improvements. So I really recommend this because this is your one-stop shop. But then the question becomes, how do you actually aim train? Let's pick, for example, a scenario that I would like to improve on. So we got the red ones here that are the Cinnabar, and these are my weaknesses and things that I need to improve. So if we maybe take control sphere far larger. The goal here is not to get high scores, which a lot of people think is the goal. The goal here is actually to get better aim technique. My goal is to improve my aim, not to get higher scores. What's important is for you to be very conscious and very mentally active. My score was horrible. I need to think, what could I have done better? So we play again. I'm gonna try to be a bit more loose. I'm also gonna try to use more fingertips and more wrist. And there we go. My score got a lot better. I'm still not at my high score, but it got a lot better. Let's take a click timing one. So Pasu Angelic 20% larger. Let's play that one. So the whole point is that you need to be very conscious when you're actually aim training, and you need to be mentally engaged. Right now, I think my click timing has been pretty off. I've been shooting a bit too early. So I got 73. This time, what can I do better? So I'm gonna be a bit more mindful of when I actually click. I'm also gonna focus on leading my target more. So I'm not chasing the bot, I'm trying to stay ahead. And because these bots have a very predictable pattern, I can try and land on the front half of the target. And so this is really the process that you need to have whenever you're aim training. You just go through this. I got a slightly better score, and then, I can do this one more time. I already feel like it's going slightly better, and I also feel like I need to make sure that whenever I flick, I don't flick and kind of stop. So I'm gonna try to be a bit more fluid on my landings so I can continue the motion, and there we go. I'm already up on 81. Find your mistakes, improve, find your mistakes, improve, find your mistakes, improve. That's the first thing. I'd love to go full-time with coaching and doing content for you guys. So I've made a coaching program with literally a guide on every agent, map, mechanic in the game, and weekly group coaching. All for the price of what most people charge for one coaching session. So it would mean the world to me if you just checked it out. Thanks. The second part that's very complex is how do you actually translate this into in-game. We need to understand what muscle groups we use in-game and practice those muscle groups so that we can get maximum kind of conversion from the aim trainer. Right now I am mostly using my wrist, but for larger movements I'm also using some of my arm. If I jump back a bit more, now I'm currently only using my wrist, and in some cases I'm using my fingertips as well. Okay, so if I go further back, Now I'm using a lot of fingertip. There's some wrist as well. Then you have to ask yourself, which fights are you mostly going to find yourself in? I think most fights are going to be in this range to about this range. So that means I need to practice most of my times using my wrist, some fingertip, and some arm. So I want a split of mostly focusing on my wrist and then fingertips and lastly arm. Whenever I'm in here and I'm practicing, I can either use my wrist, like I'm using now, for example. I can absolutely do this scenario using my arm as well. So now I'm using my arm. I can also just try and do this with pure fingertips. So now I'm just using my fingertips as much as I can. Even though I'm doing the exact same scenario in all three circumstances, I will get very different results in game depending on which muscle groups I've used and how I've practiced. That's something that you need to keep in mind whenever you're playing scenarios, because if you have a really high sense, you should basically never practice your arm aim technique, because if you don't use it in game, then that's kind of wasteful. Absolutely, you need to have some fundamentals, but for the most part, you don't want to do it. And if you have incredibly low sensitivity, then you want to practice your arm movements way more and that muscle group, because that's how you actually aim in game. Even if we practice with the right muscle groups, we have a good aim training routine, and we're being very mentally active and conscious of how we're aim training, there's going to be some issues once we jump in game, because now we don't just have to aim like this. Now we actually have to do it while moving, and there's even a level higher above this, and that's when you have an actual enemy shooting towards you. So aim training is kind of like level 1. Once you add in movement, we're at level 2, and then once we're fighting actual enemies, we're at level 3. How can we kind of fix that issue? So first off, I think there are a few exercises that are really good. You play medium bots, you jump into the range, and you have to learn this special technique. And it's that whenever a target appears, so let's say you're in a game, you don't want to move, stop, and then flick. So if I try and do this, move, stop, and then flick. Move, stop, and then flick. Move, stop, then flick. Move, stop, then flick. If this is how you're doing it, then you're doing a very big mistake, because what you want to do is you want to be way more fluid and you want to be moving, and then as soon as the target pops, you want to aim while moving. So this is how you want it to look. And I'm basically only stopping once I'm actually on target. That way I'm basically kind of looks like I never stop, because I'm only shooting once I'm on target. And if we do it the other way around, the way a lot of people do it, would look like this. So that's the first mistake. The second one is going to be click timing. So what a lot of people do is they shoot and then aim. So they do something like this. So instead, shoot once you're actually on target. The last one is going to be kind of crosshair placement. And so if I shoot, let's say these two targets, or these two targets, very quick kills. But if my crosshair placement's here and I gotta shoot this one, it takes more time. And if I gotta shoot this one, as you can see, the further away the target is from my crosshair, the longer my time to kill is. But if they're really close, I can kill them really quickly. And that's the name of the game in Valorant, time to kill. You want your time to kill to be as low as possible, and that's why you need your crosshair placement to be exactly where you want it to be. So if I pick this target, very quick kill. But if my crosshair, if I want to kill this one and my crosshair is right here, it takes just a tiny bit longer. And that can be the difference between you winning or losing a fight. So how do we fix our crosshair placement? And the reason why you want to do it specifically in deathmatches is because deathmatches replicate real games, real maps. So there you can see, I think my crosshair might have been a bit too tight because I wasn't able to react. So now I can take that knowledge into my next fight, that I might want to hold my crosshair a bit wider. See, on all those fights, I held my crosshair pretty wide just because I got that information. And there I think I pre-aimed a bit too much into the wall, so I'm gonna try to not do that. So I'm gonna hold wide here, like I practiced. See, there I think I held too high. And now I've got that information, I can take that into my next fight. If you have this approach whenever you're playing death matches, you will get way more out of your time and out of your practices. You never want to be playing on autopilot. You want to be mentally active every time, and you want to get a lot from your training and practice, and that means not being on autopilot and not just going through the motions. And yeah, this is essentially it. This is how you practice your raw mechanics in game and how you practice your mechanics in aim trainers to get the most out of your time.